Okay, now we're going to take what we know about a parabola so far in terms of the max and min and try to work some word problems. There's more to this that we're going to add in the next chapter, but right now we're simply focusing on the vertex and trying to decide which portion of the word problem we're supposed to give. So do we give the x value or the y value? Okay, so here's an example of somebody shooting a basketball. And so the way you can think about this in terms of a graph is like you have your x and y axis where the ball starts would be at 0, 0, and then it makes this parabolic shape, and at the top would be your maximum point, which would be your vertex in this case. So that would be your x and your y value. So we're going to put some equations to this parabola, or these type of problems, and you have to determine, do I give the x value or do I give the y value, depending on what the question is asking you. Okay, in this example we have an apple that we're tossing up to a friend on a third-story balcony after t seconds. So what that tells us is that t stands for the time in seconds. The height of the apple in feet is given by, and there's the equation. So for right now, I'll always give you the equation, and then it's your job to figure out which part to answer. Your friend catches the apple just as it reaches its highest point. Now, to me, the highest point tells me it's the maximum. I already know from the negative that this is a facing down parabola, so that kind of makes sense to me. Your friend catches the apple just as it reaches the highest point, the maximum. How long does the apple take to reach your friend? So how long tells me that's in terms of time. And this is asking two questions. So how long does it take? And then at what height above the ground is it that this happens? So visually representing this problem, we're looking at something kind of like our basketball in the previous example. It's going to be a facing down parabola of some sort, and our friend is sitting up here waiting to catch the ball at its highest point. So part A that it's asking us for is how long does it take, so that's going to be the time, which would actually be in this case the x part of the parabola, because that would give me the amount of time that it takes for it to reach that maximum height. And so h would be the height. Okay, so in part A, what we're looking for is going to be the x part of the vertex. So we got to remember this is in standard form, so we're going to use that formula, negative b over 2a. So we're going to have negative 38.4 over negative b over 2a, so it would be 2 times negative 16. And that will be about 1.2 seconds. Okay, so the answer to this question, how long does the apple take to reach your friend, would be the x value, which in this case would be the t, standing for time, would be 1.2 seconds. Now the second question says, well, what is that height then? So basically, what is the value of the maximum? So all that means I have to do is take my function in terms of h and plug in 1.2. Okay, so that will look like negative 16 times 1.2 squared plus 38.4 times 1.2, and then plus 0.96. Okay, when I worked that out, and I did use a calculator, I got 24. You can pause the video and do that on your own just to make sure that your order of operations is correct, and you should get 24. So what that means in this case is since up here it says it's given in, the height of the apple is in feet, then I'm going to call this 24 feet. So what that means is that while our friend was standing on the balcony, we threw the apple to her. It took 1.2 seconds for that apple to reach 24 feet above the ground. So the y value here would be 24 because it's from the ground up. Obviously on the ground would be 0. The ground up would be 24 feet high. Okay, the same type of question here. Now we have a model rocket launched from a roof. Its flight path is modeled by, here's the equation for it. Again, h is the height of the rocket above the ground, and this time it's in meters, and t is the time after it is launched. So what we want to know specifically is, what is the rocket's maximum height? So my question for you is, and think about it before you answer, do I want to give the t value or do I want to give the h value? So which one is this asking for, time or height? Okay, so if you read the question, it's looking for height. So yes, in order to get there, we still have to use that formula, x equals negative b over 2a. That's not going to be our answer, even though we have to use it to find the correct answer. Okay, so right now it's very important that you are able to know which you're giving. All right, so this will be negative 30 over negative 10. Okay, so the seconds is 3 seconds that it reaches that maximum point. In order to answer this question, though, I have to plug it into the function h. So we're going to do that at 3, so this will be negative 5 times 3 squared plus 30 times 3 plus 10. Okay, so this will be, alright, so this would be negative 5 times 9 plus, I'll go ahead and call that 90 plus 10. So it'll be negative 45 plus 90 is 45. So plus 10 would be 55. All right, so we're looking at 55 meters as our final answer for the rocket's maximum height. What I want you to do on this page is to pause the video, try this question on your own paper, and then when you're ready, hit play, and it will switch you over to the next page. So go ahead and hit pause at this time. Now let's check your answers. Check the work, make sure all of your work is there and that your final answer is correct. And we'll be practicing this tomorrow. Good luck.